Hello.
Hi Ashutosh, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for
Okay,
asking. And how about you?
okay, I'm fine too. Thank you very much. Have you taken a session before? Could you remind me, or this our first session?
This is our first session.
Okay, okay. In that case, could you introduce yourself?
Of course. As you know, my name is Ashutosh Dwivedi, and I'm connecting to you from Kanpur city of Uttar Pradesh. And about my education, I have pursued my bachelor's degree, that is BCom Honors Accounting from Banaras Hindu University. And now I'm pursuing my master's, that is Masters of Arts in English Literature. Along with that, I do run a YouTube channel which is based on spoken English conversations. This is all about me. Thank you.
Okay, okay, okay. And your master's degree is in literature, right now?
Yes.
Why did you switch fields?
Yeah, actually, I was a student of commerce and I wanted to see
Hmm.
myself as a chartered accountant. But in COVID-19, I became passionate about English. So I thought of having a degree in English as well. So that's why I'm pursuing my interest, you can say.
Okay, okay, okay. And so since you are pursuing your masters in literature, you must have come across many different books from many different authors. Tell me a little about that. Pick any book or any favorite genre, any favorite author, and tell me a little
Yeah,
about that.
to be honest, I will tell you clearly that I'm not more into degree. I wanted to have a degree only, and but I'm more into spoken English and I'm more into YouTube. I don't go to my college regularly. Only I do study those things before the examination, so I can do well in examination.
Okay, okay.
Apart from this, I would like to have a time for myself where I can just build my spoken skills. That's why I'm doing that degree. So just I'm getting 2 years to work on myself. That's why I have chosen this master's degree.
Okay, okay, okay. I do
Basically, my
understand.
goal is to become a podcast host, and I would like to see myself as a public speaker so I can represent myself over like bigger stages.
Okay. That is good. Okay. Have you ever read any books that you could tell me about? Like besides your English literature course? Is there any author, any
Yes,
particular book?
actually, before this, I was reading a book that is written by Jay Shetty, Think Like a Monk. And I have read some books like The Psychology of Money, written by Morgan Housel, Rich Dad and Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki, and Ikigai, written by Hector Garcia. Turning point of my life, I think, related to APJ Abdul Kalam. So, and The Secret, Rhonda Byrne. So I have read, so like, basically I'm not a bookworm and I'm into consuming a lot of content on social media. It's been 3 years. Before that, I was a student of hostel and I was quite studious. Phone was not allowed. So I was into books. But when I came out and I got the chance to use phone, I started consuming a lot of content on social media, and that is benefiting me a lot, what I feel.
Okay. Okay. All these books that you have read, pick any, and yeah, you can we can discuss that book. Tell me what the book was about,
Okay,
and yeah.
so yeah, of course, before discussing, I would love to know about yourself as well, so
Sure,
as
sure.
we are meeting for the first time.
Yeah, sure. Okay. As you already know, my name is Haritdeep Singh. It's a bit complicated. You can call me Harit, and
Hmm.
I live in Alwar. It's a city in Rajasthan. I was originally born and
Hmm.
brought up here. Very much like you, I also went through the same path of starting with commerce and then I switched fields. I didn't pursue any course in English literature, but I'm very interested in it, in English literature, in both of them. And commerce isn't something I can bear now. That's it. That's it from my side. That's it about me.
Oh, that's wonderful. So even though you
Hmm.
were from the commerce background, so actually,
Exactly.
my reason I have chosen this because I wanted to have time. If when I was pursuing my bachelor's, then it was fine. But I was back home in COVID-19, so I started working on my communication skills, and then I thought like if I have worked like more than 2 years, so why shouldn't I continue this journey to improve myself? And
Hmm.
that's why I thought of doing this degree. Along with that, I'm working on myself. So yeah. So how
Okay.
long
Okay.
have you been just pursuing your passion of teaching and training people in English?
Well, so the thing is that my Love for English, it sort of started. It wasn't exactly my love for English, but it was just that I was very much interested in books, and I started reading
Hmm.
books when I was in eighth or ninth. And since
Hmm.
then, I have been reading books. They have been my life actually. And as far as teaching English is concerned, this is something relatively new. I
Hmm.
have been on this platform for, I guess, a little less than a year, but I'm really
Hmm.
enjoying my time here, and it's nice. English is a subject now that I'm very much interested in it, and I love teaching it also. I get to meet so many new people from different walks of life. It's very wonderful. It's very great.
Yeah, it's quite practical. It's not teaching in a way that you will go and you will give a lecture, for 40 minutes and you will leave the class. It is totally different. Here it is, it depends of the both, you'll have to talk, you'll have to make conversation, and you will have to ask questions. So that's quite interesting, what I feel. So, and for the
Yeah,
spoken English, it is very important to have the interaction from both of the sides.
that is true. Yeah, and this is something I like very much about this platform. So it's not like a traditional classroom, as you mentioned. So it
Hmm.
I never fear it getting boring. I always get to meet new people. It's always just fun conversations. So it's very interesting. That is something I really
Yeah, it
do like
is.
about my job. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm. So before we move ahead, anything else that you would like to ask me or you would like to share about yourself?
As already I told you about myself, and I am into YouTube for more than 2 years, and I have started my YouTube channel to boost my confidence, and I'm continuing this, and it is giving me a lot of confidence what I feel, and I'm able to help to the beginners also because I'm putting content so that it can be helpful for them if they will watch. So it will be good for them by watching the real conversations. So that's it. And apart from this, I'm exploring and I'm trying to know that what I like, what can I do in future, what can be the right career for me, and actually, this kind of things I'm doing nowadays.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. Our 20s are for that only, I guess. Half of the time it's just worrying
Mhm.
about the career and worrying about how it will go and everything. But yeah, that's good that
Mhm.
you are able to follow your passion, you're able to manage your YouTube account. How is that going? How was the experience like? How has been the experience like these 2 years having a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. In the beginning, of course, I used to have a lot of fear because I was not open to public for the comments and for just suggestions. But when I had uploaded my first video, of course, friends of mine and the people with whom I used to do the conversation, they have given me the good comments, and it was very helpful for me to continue my journey. Then I started putting videos, but it was difficult because sometimes you're not that much energetic to make videos and put on YouTube. That is also just very difficult. It is a time consuming process, and you'll have to give a lot of time for the editing, or you will have to, if you are doing the conversation like one on one, then also you'll have to find out people and you will have to talk with them. But just Clapingo or the platforms like Clapingo, they have made it very easier, and I think it's very nice that you can book a session at any time. It depends on your just time, and after that you can have a conversation. So it's very nice. So nowadays I am having a lot of conversation with the professionals, so that's really nice. It's been 2 years and I'm learning a lot. And but I what I feel, I'm just making the videos on online basis, but that is not going to enhance my offline public speaking. So I would
Okay.
like to go out and I would like to speak on a stage also. So I can come out from that fear of that stage fear, because that is not going to be uh, out if I will speak on camera. That's totally different. And speaking in front of audience, it's totally different. So I would like to explore both of the things.
Okay, that is one thing. To be honest, I would not be that comfortable with public speaking. English is not a problem for me, but still, public speaking isn't
Hmm.
something I've really tried. I used to try it, like in a school. I tried it a few times, and it all went very well. But still, I used to be quite scared. Since then, I haven't just tried, nor am I a big fan of it. So I'm quite sure that if I were to find myself on a stage in front of 500 people, English wouldn't be a trouble, but I'm sure my legs would be shaking. My heart would be pulsing and everything. I just I'm not a fan of it, and it's wonderful that you are able to speak so well. So far, the 10 minutes of conversation we have had, it is very good. Your tone is very moderate. That is one thing. Fluency is something which is not easy to achieve. Even when I joined this platform, it was like this for me. I used to speak in a sort of broken way. It was quite fluent, but still there were some pauses, there were some fillers that I was using. And when I watched my recordings, I was like, no, this is something that I would have to work on. And I did. For me, it was sort of something that I had to work on. I had to improve. For you, this is not something. This is not the case. With many of my learners, it is, and they have to spend a lot of time practicing that smoothness, that your speech should be very smooth. There shouldn't be any unnecessary pauses, there shouldn't be any unnecessary fillers. This is something that is a positive point for you. That is your strong suit. You are speaking very fluently at a very moderate pace, so that's one thing. And I'm sure that
Thank
even
you.
in public speaking would do fairly well. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, as you said that of course public speaking is totally different from that having the command over a language, because
Mm,
there you will have to maintain the eye contact. You will have
mm,
language and the hand gestures, your facial expressions, how you articulate the thoughts, and uh, and of course how you are going to engage your audience, the humor or something, whatever it is. It depends. Like a lot of people are, they are serious speakers, they are humorous speakers, but it depends on your style, what you do. But it is very important to keep those things in mind. And when anybody is inviting you on the stage, it is very difficult because every single person is looking at you and you are the center at that point of time. So that's why
mm,
we get a lot of fear generally, that oh, of course, if I'm going to commit any mistake, that what is going to be happen. But you'll have to be free. You will have to, what actually, basically, I attend some classes also. There I see people, they generally, of course, accept that if they are committing any mistake also in public mistake, and speaking, no problem. If they are forgetting something, they will say that I'm not getting that in my mind right now, and that's very fine. But it rather speaking something wrong, you can say that of course I'm not getting that in my mind right now. It's totally fine,
yeah.
because you are also a human being. Being a public speaker doesn't mean that you are someone who is not going to commit any mistake in future or on a stage. So
Mm. Yeah, that is true, and it's really nice that you have such confidence, and of course the principles on which you're trying to build it all. Your YouTube channel, your public speaking, everything is very good. The tenets, you have a very good knowledge of that. That's great. Okay, just a few things quickly. There are a few errors that have piled up, and I would like to correct them, and then we can move ahead with our discussion. Just give me a second. Oh, actually, my laptop is running out of battery. Just a second. Okay. First of all, coming to these three words, could you pronounce them?
mhm.
I hope you are able to see it, or
Yeah.
should I zoom in a little?
Yes, I'm able to see it.
Okay.
The word, okay.
Yeah, the words that I put in bold.
Also, mhm.
Okay, and this one,
Get shirts,
and the third one.
suggestion.
Okay, the third one is correct now. Suggestion that the
Mhm,
j sound is also there because it's a double G. Similar, just like with
mhm,
the axis, there's a double C, so we pronounce it like that. Axis, the k sound comes in.
mhm,
Similarly, with suggestion, the j sound is also there. Suggestion, and there's the ch sound. I've written it like this. That like the ch sound is also supposed to be there.
mhm,
Now coming to this one, this is actually gestures. This is a soft sound. This is a soft G. J.
mhm. Okay.
Gestures. Yeah, instead of
Get
gestures it would be
shirts.
gestures, correct.
Mhm.
And now you're pronouncing it correctly, but in the conversation I heard something like also. That's a typical Indian pronunciation. That would be also, like also,
Yeah,
all together,
also. Mhm,
correct, all together. Similarly, god, all of these they have the o sound.
mhm,
Okay. Okay, now coming to these errors quickly. I do this study, something like that. You said it would be I study. We don't need
mhm,
do with a verb here, because the study by itself is the verb. I would like to have a time for myself. I would like to have time for myself. We don't need a here. When it comes to choose, this is the first form. Chose with a single O is the second form, and chosen again with a single O is the third form. So there is nothing like I have chosen. It is I have chosen. The O sound is there.
mhm,
Okay, I have chosen. And before this, I was reading a book. Well, if you say it in the ing form like that, that would really mean that before this session, here the before this is not really clear. So before this session, I was reading a book, maybe. In this case, you can say before I used to read books. Maybe if you are talking saying it in general, you can say I used to read books or I read some books instead of using the ing form. That gives a sense of some there being it being quite recent, there being a continuity. We can use I read some books. The pronunciation of this word,
Monk.
monk. Now it is correct. Yeah, I was a student of hostel. We can say it like that. We can also say I was as a student. I was living in a hostel. I was living in a hostel. But yeah, student of hostel would also work. I don't see any reason why. And okay, yeah, I told you that I also come from a commerce background, and you said even though you were from a commerce background, actually you didn't finish the sentence maybe. So it was unclear for me what you wanted to say. If you're saying that like you were from a commerce background and I was too, then you would say even you were from a commerce background. In this case, you won't put though, you would simply say even you were from a commerce background. If you put even though, that is usually to talk about a certain contrast. Even though it's raining, I am still going to go to the office. Usually when it rains, one shouldn't go, but even though it's raining, then there is a contrast. I would go to the office, go to the office. So that even though we put with a contrast, here it would be simply even. I have worked, you said I have worked for 2 years, like you were talking about your YouTube channel. This is, the sentence is correct. Just one thing we can add here, I've worked on it. Even without it, it would be clear. I just wanted to give this, like tell you this, that these are different prepositions that we would use here. For time duration, we would use for, and I have worked on something. That is how we say it. Like I've worked on my YouTube channel, I've worked on my English or on my public speaking, like that. What else? I'm into this YouTube channel for 2 years. In spoken English, we do say it like that. Even though it's grammatically not completely correct, we do say it like that. But yeah, more correct sentence would be I have been into. I have been. Because it's an action that started in the past and has continued up until the present. So I am working in this on this platform for 2 years. Well, instead of that, I would say I have been working on this platform because it's an action that covers this time period. Okay, so for that we use present perfect or present perfect continuous. In the beginning, you said I'm connecting to you from, I forgot the name of the city. Uh, this sentence is actually correct. It's just that it's a bit formal, which is not really an issue, but it's still, it is up to you. If you would like to start a conversation with formal because it is the first time that we were meeting, so it's very normal to start with something formal, and later on, as we develop an acquaintance, you can switch to informal. It is normal. I just wanted to tell you that the register of this would be I'm connecting to you from India. This would be actually quite formal. You would use it in professional settings only. Otherwise, if you're saying it in informal, you would say I live in, or I come from, or I'm talking to you from India, something like that. Okay. And just one last thing, rather speaking something wrong rather than speaking something wrong. You should just you should just confess that okay, I'm unable to come up with something right now. I would say it later on, whatever, rather than.
Rather
Okay.
than.
Okay, so I hope the errors they were clear, there are corrections.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
okay, okay.